Yes, guys. So I'm guessing a lot of you must have heard the news circulating around in the boxing world that, due to the current situation and the fallout of Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury, Daniel Dubois has now been called for Alexander Usyk to defend his mandatory. So Daniel Dubois is a mandatory challenger, and now the awarding body are going to look to mandate him to fight Usyk. Now, obviously, we know that there was a chance of that fight happening had this fight have fallen through, I believe, at the Copper Box Arena in London. What do we think of this as a fight? Well, let's just go into a little bit of context here. Alexander Usyk, a very well-scored amateur. He had hundreds of amateur bouts. He's won a lot of tournaments. He's an Olympic gold medalist, cruiserweight, undisputed world champion. He moved up to heavyweight. He's now the unified heavyweight champion of the world. He's got 2 wins over Anthony Joshua, both of which I believe he won quite conclusively. Now, he's a very skilled boxer. He's a boxer of tricks. He's a southpaw. It's very hard to nail. He's got good feet, good boxing IQ, good movement. Whereas Daniel Dubois, he's a young guy. He's 25 years old, I believe. So fairly young. He's got a big right hand. He's a big guy. He's like 6'4", 6'5". But is Daniel Dubois ready for this fight? I feel as though a lot of people would agree with me on this one, that Daniel Dubois is nowhere near ready for this fight. What the hell are Frank Warren and Queensberry thinking of doing? A loss against Alexander Usyk could be very detrimental to Daniel Dubois' career moving forward. I understand the argument that he's young, and even if he does lose, he will come again because he's only 25 years old. However, what could a loss against Alexander Usyk do to Daniel Dubois mentally? We've seen Daniel Dubois is not there yet to be competing with the top guys. His last performance against Kevin Lerena showed exactly that. Kevin Lerena was a southpaw, nowhere near the level that Alexander Usyk is. He would manage to put Daniel Dubois down, I think it was 3 times in a round. And had he stepped on the gas, he would have been able to force a stoppage and win that fight. Now, let's not even go there with comparing Kevin Lerena and Alexander Usyk because they're worlds apart. Alexander Usyk is an elite guy who's mixed in with the greatest at each division, and he's come out on top each time. He's yet to be beaten. Now, if Daniel Dubois is struggling against the likes of Kevin Lerena, and I do understand he had a leg injury or something like that, but it was, the same thing over again. Dubois got clipped and he went down. Usyk will bamboozle him and confuse him with skills and just pop his head and just jab Daniel Dubois' head all night and confuse him and set traps. We know Usyk is the master at playing these games and setting traps. He's too technically sound for Daniel Dubois. And yes, Daniel Dubois has a big right hand, but we saw how Daniel Dubois lost the fight against Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce has got a very good jab, but he's not as technically good as Alexander Usyk. Usyk is much quicker than Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is flat-footed. He comes forward. He's very telegraph. Usyk is not going to show you anything. Usyk is very good at being deceiving and showing you them angles. This is what is going to confuse Daniel Dubois. And this is why I don't feel it's a good fight for him to have right now. Yes, he can come back from it and, rebuild himself because he's 25 years old, which is very young for a heavyweight. However, mentally, that could have a really, really bad effect on him. As we know, some fighters never recover. And a loss to Alexander Usyk can leave him potentially doubting himself if he's really made for this boxing game, if he's really going to achieve anything within this boxing game. Remember, Daniel Dubois was touted to be the next guy, to take the throne from Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, all these guys once they've retired. He was seen as the next heir apparent in British boxing. However, his career thus far has not convinced British fans at all, in my opinion. I mean, he can still improve in the next 2, 3, 4 years. And, he's with a very good trainer in Shane McGuigan, who I personally believe is one of the best trainers in the UK right now. However, I just feel like Daniel Dubois is missing something mentally, and I feel as though it showed in that fight against Kevin Lerena. Yes, he bit down on the gum shield and he got the stoppage win in the end. But I just feel as though Alexander Usyk is mountains and mountains above Kevin Lerena in everything. In terms of his ability, in terms of his resume, in terms of everything. Physically, he's bigger than Kevin Lerena. Technically, he's way better than Kevin Lerena. And so on and so forth. So if Daniel Dubois had the issues like that against Kevin Lerena, and we know Alexander Usyk only gets stronger as the fight goes on, how the hell is Daniel Dubois going to get through that? I feel as though Queensberry and Frank Warren and Daniel Dubois' team need to put the brakes on Daniel Dubois for a moment in terms of taking the fights against any of the elite top 5, top 6 guys. And the reason why I say this is because he's already number 1 in a mandatory position. He's a young fighter. He's only 25, 24 years old as a heavyweight, which is a baby. There is so much work that needs to be done. And surely Shane McGuigan will be able to, nail on some improvements within Daniel Dubois' game before he steps up and fights for that title. Because it's all well and good challenging these guys and saying, yeah, I got in there and fought. But you don't want to go in there to come second best. You want to go in there to win. And you want to stay at the top whilst you're there. Not win a title and lose it in your first defence. So I feel as though the right thing for Daniel Dubois and for Queensberry to do for the best of his career would be to maybe take one more fight before challenging for a world title. If he's going to challenge for a world title this year, I believe he should have one more fight just to iron out the cobwebs, go over any creases in his game, iron out any demons in his game, and really, get to work and make some improvements. And I'd say the perfect opponent for him right now, Parker, would be the perfect opponent right now, I believe, for Daniel Dubois. Joseph Parker has come off quite a brutal loss to Joe Joyce in his recently. And I know Joseph Parker has had a fight since then, which he won on points. However, ever since, losing to the likes of Anthony Joshua, Dillian White, the very close fight that he had with Derek Chisora the first time, Joseph Parker has not really looked like a force who's really going to come and maybe win a title again. However, he's a former world champion, so there is credibility in fighting Joseph Parker. And he's also a former opponent of the only guy to beat Daniel Dubois at the moment, which is Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce done a number on him. And I feel like for Daniel Dubois mentally, and also, to work on some stuff before he does step up to fight the elite guys, would be to fight someone like a Joseph Parker and to set himself the task of really trying to beat Joseph Parker up in better fashion than what Joe Joyce did. And then I would say maybe he's ready for that title shot. Although I do still see Usyk beating him quite comfortably, regardless of the situation. I just believe Alexander Usyk is way too skilled. And, he'll just be able to play with him in there. You don't have hundreds of amateur fights. Win a gold medal at the Olympics, become undisputed cruiserweight champion, become unified heavyweight champion, fighting all these fights in everyone's backyard and not be able to deal with, an up-and-coming fighter. So I feel as though Joseph Parker is the best opponent for Daniel Dubois right now. And if he's going to challenge for a title, maybe he should, challenge for it maybe later this year after having one more fight, one more camp, for Shane McGuigan to really get to work with him and make some improvements, because serious improvements are needed. Because right now, I don't see him beating any of the top 5, top 6 guys. I see him struggling with them. And that Kevin Lerena performance really, really makes me doubt what he can go on to achieve in the game. Obviously, the situation can be different in a few years' time when all these top guys such as AJ, Fury, etc. have retired, because the landscape would have changed then. And Daniel Dubois may end up becoming a world champion. But as of now, as long as these guys are around, I do not see him causing them any problem. And the fight against Joe Joyce really showed that for me. Joe Joyce was able to beat him up and just win the fight off of his jab. And I know Joe Joyce is, is a juggernaut. He's very strong, got a very good jab. And how to beat Daniel Dubois. You just set him up with a jab. He comes with his head upright. He's a bit flat-footed at times. And if you connect with him, he's likely to go down. We know he can't really take shots, although he has got big power. We've seen him be put down before. And if you're able to break him down, which I certainly believe that Alexander Usyk can do, with his technical ability to set traps and eventually tire out Daniel Dubois, then obviously Alexander Usyk will have enough in the tank to get the win. And I feel as though this win would be a standard routine walk in the park win for him, just because of how easy he would make it look. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe and share. See you in the next one, guys.